So I ran into my ex today, but not just any ex, my ex-husband. And before you bitches get to asking questions, this is my ex from kindergarten. You know that thing where the little boy proposes to the girl with a ring pop? That's what happened to me. We had the whole fucking ceremony with my whole kindergarten class. It was real serious at the time. But then a bitch moved away and that was the end of our love story. Tragic, I know. Anyways, I decided to go to Starbucks today because I'm obsessed with that pumpkin cream chai latte. It's literally my shit. And it was pretty busy, so I sat my ass at a fucking table to wait for my drink. While I was waiting, this guy comes up to me and we start talking and the vibes were there. So of course he asked me for my Instagram, but then the barista calls my name and I was kind of in a hurry. So I just had him give me his Instagram really quick and I was gonna add him back later. He gives me his Instagram and it's really fucking basic. It's just his first name _ his last name. And I'm looking at this fucking name, right? And I'm like, I know this name from somewhere. It's ringing a fucking bell. Why is it so familiar? But I have to go, so I can't really think about it too much. So later on, when I add him back, I get to thinking about it again. Then it fucking clicks and I'm like, oh my God, this is my ex-husband. But then I started gaslighting myself and I was like, well, it's a pretty basic last name. Like maybe it's just a coincidence. Until I fucking asked him what elementary school he went to. And it was the same one that I went to. And at this point, I'm like, this gotta be him. But to really make sure, I asked him, do you remember the kindergarten teacher's name? And of course this man fucking said no because that shit was hella long ago. Why would we remember that? Oh, I did, but he didn't. So then I start asking him other questions like, do you remember anybody in the class? Like, da da da. And he kind of gets weirded out and he's like, why are you asking me all these questions? And I'm like, oh, fuck, sorry. I think we went to the same kindergarten class, but I don't know. So then he was like, I can ask my mom because I guess she had a picture of the whole kindergarten class, like a group picture with our names and the teacher. So he asked his mom for the fucking picture. My name was in there, his name was in there, and the teacher's name was in there. So I was like, you're my husband. And he texted me back like, what are the fucking odds we run into each other 19 years later on a fluke? And I'm like, you're telling me? But there's still one question remaining. We never got a divorce, so is this really my ex-husband? Or were we just on a really long break? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I'm just a girl. Anyways, the makeup seating.
Get ready with me while I tell you about the most embarrassing thing that happened during my freshman year. And you guys are going to want to listen to this because this might be the craziest story I've told yet. Y'all, this story is actually so embarrassing. Okay, it first starts off of a night that me and my friends all went out. And we ended up coming back to my dorm afterwards. And we decided to play Fortnite because I have an Xbox in my room. And so we were just kind of messing around playing Fort. And I wasn't that, if you know what I mean. So I remember everything pretty clearly. And I remember like my friend was like eating Cheez-Its on my bed. And like we were literally just all like having a fun night. And so it's not like I forgot a lot of stuff. So the next morning I wake up and I'm kind of disoriented because I don't know what that noise is. But anyways, I'm disoriented because I just like woke up and I was like, whoa, I don't even remember falling back to sleep. And I go in and check my phone and my friend texted me and he's like, hey, like I left, I plugged your Starlight in, like good night or whatever. I don't remember exactly what he said. So later that evening, the friend that texted me that, he had his formal and I was going to it. And we were sitting on, we have these things here called Fetties where they're like Ubers, but they're like party buses. And I get a text from the guy that lives like 4 doors down from me. And I've never talked to this guy before ever because he lives 4 doors down, but I guess we had each other on a group chat and that's how I had him added. And so he texts me and he's like, hey, were you okay last night? And I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? I guess I had a little bit too much to, you know, because I literally don't remember seeing him. And I think I asked my friend, I was like, do you remember seeing this guy? And he was like, no, we didn't see anyone like coming into the dorm. And so I was like, oh, okay, whatever. This man continues to tell me the craziest story I have ever heard in my entire life. So obviously I don't remember this, so I'm going to tell you the story from his point of view. He proceeded to tell me that I went into his room last night. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, I don't remember that. And I was like, what time was this at? He then tells me that it was at 3 a.m. I was in bed and my friend had texted me that message saying he left at 12:30. He is texting me this whole story, and basically I came into his room at like 3 a.m. and I kind of just was like hanging out in his room while he was sleeping. And he told me he like woke up because I was like in his actual room, because how it worked is we all had like singles with like shared living rooms, and so I was hanging out in his living room and then I went into his room and I was just like in his room while he was sleeping, and he woke up and he was like, what the hell are you doing in here? And I guess I was like, what do you mean? Like, we were just playing Fortnite in here, like all this stuff. I was like, what do you mean? Like, we were literally just playing Fortnite. And like, I'm totally like conscious, like my eyes are open and like I'm talking to him. And he's like, no, you weren't, like, go to bed. And he tries to get me to leave. I guess I go to his bathroom, I lock the door, I pee, I flush the toilet. And then at some point I was like in the bathroom, like staring at the wall in the corner like this, like just like staring at like the corner of the wall. So the wall is like here and I'm like just like staring there. And he was like really, really creeped out. And he ends up telling me to leave. He watches me just like waddle back to my room. And like, I usually don't sleep with like shorts on. I usually just sleep in like a t-shirt and like underwear. Thank God I was wearing shorts. Oh my gosh, that would have been so bad. But yeah, that is like the craziest story ever. And so I was like, what the heck? And I end up calling my mom. Mind you, I'm like at a formal right now, so this is like not the best time to be getting told this story. But I call my mom because I realized that over Thanksgiving break, or maybe it was Christmas break, she was asking me and my brother if we were using the air fryer in the middle of the night, and neither of us were. So to conclude this story, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, I sleptwalked. And I've never done that. There is no history of sleepwalkers in my family. And both the times it's happened, I have had that before. So, and it's the times that I don't remember falling asleep. And so it's actually really crazy. And I ended up getting the full story from the guy later because like he was in my dorm for some reason, and I was like, you need to tell me this full story in person. But yeah, like he was really creeped out because I guess his roommate wasn't home that weekend and he just forgot to lock his doors. And the scary part is that I probably checked on everyone's door before I got to his, because his was 4 doors down and the next door from his door was the door to outside. And like you have to use key cards, and obviously I didn't have my phone on me. So if I would have gone outside, like I don't know what would have happened. Like, that's just so scary. But yeah, for the next few weeks after that, I made my roommates barricade my door before I went to bed, like on the other side, because I feel like I would have just like moved it. And I was like, if I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, like tough luck, because I'm not sleepwalking like outside. Like if I sleptwalked outside, like someone would have just found me in a bush. Like that's just crazy. But yeah, if you guys have any like creepy sleepwalking stories, put them in the comments, because I feel like mine is like the scariest. Like I want to know if anyone has any scarier ones or like crazier ones. But it's like the fact that it was literally like a frat boy that lived 4 doors down. Like it could have been anyone else, but yet it was a frat boy. And it was just like even more embarrassing because some of the people in the frat kind of knew who I was already, because I got a black eye and a concussion at a darty that they had. I'll give a story time on that if you guys want to hear about that one. But everyone kind of already knew who I was, so they probably just think I'm weird. Like, I'm never going to anything associated with that frat again. I'm kidding. But hopefully they don't think I'm weird. But anyways, still have to do my hair, but that was my story time. Bye!
He definitely had a black girl fetish. I went on a date yesterday with a man that was not my race. He was very much, okay, me and him, we're just talking, just chatting. I was like, you know what, let me just do something a little spontaneous for the plot. He's like, oh yeah, I want to take you out. Let's go grab some drinks and some tacos. It's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Okay, cool. The crazy part is that I really did not want to go. Like, I didn't want to go at all. I was just trying to do it for the plot. We're supposed to meet at 9:30 p.m. And prior to the day, the man was already blowing up my phone, just calling me. He called me, say, oh, I'm gonna be in my suit because I'm just coming out of work, meeting, something. So wear a cheeky dress, wear a cute little dress, something. I was like, okay, cool. I ended up wearing a cute little dress. Literally, I wore this dress, okay? As I'm on my way, he calls me again, and then he asks me, oh, what would you like to drink? And I'm in my head, I'm like, come on, love you, no drink me. Don't go and poison me. Like, no, I'm like, and then I told him, I'm like, no, I'll wait till I get there before I order my drink. Like, I'm literally like 3 minutes away. There's no rush. You know what I'm saying? I get there, boom. He already was looking at me from outside the window. So he came outside to like open the door and do his little one too, I guess. So I was just like, okay, cool. That did not impress me. That's normal. I'm sorry. That's the bare minimum. Get there, order my espresso martini. He's already done with his own espresso martini. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you just got here. At first, he's a vibe. But then after maybe 10, maybe 20 minutes, he starts with the sexual talk. Oh my God. I just met you, bro. So I'm just like, okay, you're funny. I'm already getting uncomfortable, so I'm already looking at the time. Like, all right, cool. I'm about to figure out a little escape plan. He's reaching for my hand / my thighs, and I'm just like, I don't know if you're trying to be romantic because you already started talking of all this sexual nonsense. Because he was like, oh, I'm the type of person, I feel like, oh, I need to taste before I, get into a relationship. Hey! Like, no, sir. That ain't what we doing over here. I actually tell him, I'm like, okay, I don't think this is what we should be talking about on the first date. Especially because, like, I just met you for real. Every time he finishes talking about anything sexual, he will go like, you should come see my balcony after this. You should come see my balcony after this. And I'm like, only balcony? Which one? What is balcony? What is balcony doing for you? I was like, okay, like, what's your thing with balconies? He was like, oh, I just love balconies. Hell no. You want to push me? Or do you think any action is going to happen on that balcony? Which one is it? Because none of the above is going to happen in the name of Jesus. You are sick. He's coming closer and trying to kiss me. Oh my God, you guys. I just remember something. One moment, he tried to lock eyes with me and then he came close. I did not like that, y'all. And then he was like, I feel like women only restrict men from sex, men that they don't like from sex. And then he was asking me, oh, do you like me? Do you find me attractive? Some. And I'm just like, bro, chill, bro. And then, y'all, he was so conceited. As I just told you guys that he would ask me, oh, do you think I'm attractive? He would answer it by himself. He'd be like, I know you think I'm attractive. I'm like, if only you knew how hard I was cringing at you right now, you would literally go home and never go on a date ever again. At this point, I started telling him, oh yeah, like, let's get the waiter, let's go, let's leave. I don't even think it was up to like 45 minutes. So next to us, there was a rooftop bar or whatever. So he wanted to go to the rooftop bar and keep drinking. Oh, Emiko, I did it all. But with my homegirls, I get late. But I don't know you, so I'm not getting that late with you, So we end up going to the rooftop because I wanted to see the rooftop anyway. And then this guy tries to kiss me again. You guys, I don't know what we were talking about. I don't know what warranted this, but he started saying the N-word. This is when I lost it. And then I'm like, don't say that to me. Are you crazy? Are you sick? Like, don't say that to me. What if I knock you out right now? We were literally on a rooftop. If I push you over this rooftop now, cause of that, you said the N-word. So yes, that was my last straw. I was like, okay, yeah, like, I want to go. I want to leave. So on our way downstairs, he's still trying to convince me to go, to his house and see his balcony or whatever. So I'm like, no, I'm not trying to go see your balcony, whatever. So he gets irritated, he gets angry, and then he walks off, or like we both part ways and walk off. I'm like, no, I'm walking to my car. He's not saying anything. We don't say bye. We don't say nothing. We just part ways, and I go home and he goes home, and that's it. That was literally the end of the date, you guys. It didn't even last 24 hours. I personally don't think I'll be trying that again. Like, I couldn't even stand his sight. I don't know, maybe it was because it was corny and very, very egotistic. I don't know, maybe that will, I don't know. And then he was making like several racist comments. He was like, I thank God you're not ghetto, like, you know. I'm like, what do you mean? I've only encountered racism in my comment section, but seeing it in real life is crazy. Right in front of my koro eyes like this. Hey, I barely knew this man for like 24 hours. Oh my God. And I even forgot to mention, this man gonna smack my nyash. He gonna try to smack my nyash. I think that was the moment where I decided, okay, now it's time to freaking leave because this man is crazy. I don't know you. Anyway, that's the end of this story time. I will see you guys in my next video.
What would you do if you and your friend were alone in a parking lot and a creepy car comes up and starts staring at you? Because that's exactly what happened to me and my friend at the movie theater in September. And again, I love seeing your guys' comments where it's like, how do you have so many stories? I literally don't know. This stuff always just happens to me. I honestly have to pick it out of my brain because sometimes I just don't remember these. So please comment on like types of stories that you want to see, like scary, funny, because then I can like pull it out of my head like when I'm thinking about this. So this was like a week or two before school started, and I don't know why, but every time me and my friend go to this movie theater, there's always like a creepo or something really scary happening to us. I don't know what it is about this movie theater. And my friend were coming back from the movies. Actually, I was with my friend and my boyfriend. So it was the two of us and then my friend, and we went to see It Ends With Us. So we were all sitting, like after the movie, we were all just sitting in my car in the parking lot because we were just like talking before my friend had to leave because me and my boyfriend went together and then my friend went by herself because she lives the closest to the movie theater. So that's why we just met her at this specific theater. So we're all just talking, and all of a sudden, a car that was, like, when we had, like, walked to my car, that car was already, like, right next to my car. And, like, I don't mean, like, an empty parking lot. Like, obviously, there were cars there because it's a movie theater, but it was late at night. It was, like, 11 to 10 p.m. Like, a few cars. So when I mean by empty, I don't mean, like, exactly empty, but, like, you know what I mean. So we all get out of the car to walk my friend to her car because, like, we didn't want her to walk by herself. And she was, like, she wasn't far, but it's just, like, the right thing to do. And, like, I wanted to give her, like, a hug goodbye, like, all of that stuff. So, yeah, we get out of the car, and then all of a sudden, the windows next to the car that was right next to us, keep in mind, it was an all-black car, cars tinted, and, like, it was low-key, like, a creepy car. Like, it was, like, pretty beat up, actually. And it didn't look like anyone was in it. Like, we had been talking for a while, and we didn't see them. So we noticed when their windows rolled down, and I'm not even joking you, 3 people, there were 2 in the front and 3 or 4 people, and I think 2 in the back. I don't exactly remember, but because it was dark, but they started staring at us. Like, I don't know if they were doing that prank, but like this was in December where like the trolling where like you just randomly stare at people, like that wasn't happening at the time. This was before the Smile movie, and they were just randomly staring at us. And like they didn't look mean, they didn't look happy, they just looked like plain face, like. And we were just like, what the heck? Like, at first we thought they were pranking us because, like, we were like, okay, like, whatever. Like, it's probably a prank because, like, I love to troll. Like, me and my friend that I was with, like, we love to troll. So we're like, all right, it's probably, like, a prank, whatever. So we're just, like, laughing back. Like, we're all just smiling at them because we're like, what the heck? And we thought they were joking, but then they just kept looking at us. And, like, they rolled back up the windows eventually, but, like, they just kept staring at us. And we were like, okay, this is really creepy. So we all went back into my car. Oh my gosh, I actually hate running out of time. This is so annoying because my phone literally will not post the video because I have no storage. So go to part 2. I love you guys. Bye. What would you do if you were in an empty parking lot and a car pulls up right next to you and starts randomly staring at you? Because that's exactly what happened to me, my friend, and my boyfriend. If this is part 2, so if you have not watched part 1, go watch that now so this makes more sense. So we're all just sitting in my car. I'm not going to use names for privacy reasons, but we're all just sitting in my car. And we keep, like, we're trying to ignore them, but every time we look back, they're staring at us. So what we would do is, like, one at a time, we would be like, oh my god, like, are they looking? And, like, one of us would, like, look and, like, or, like, glimpse really quick, and they would still be staring at us. And at this point, we thought they were, like, making some sort of TikTok because it had been, like, 10 minutes at this point, and they were still staring at us. And I know you guys were probably like, why didn't you just drive away? Because, one, we were scared that if they were, like, creepos, that they would follow my friend home. And we were thinking about, like, following my friend home, but she lives, like, 15 minutes, like, the opposite way. And then from there, it would be, like, a 30-minute drive back to our house because I still have to drop my boyfriend off. So that would be a 30-minute drive to his house and then, like, a 15-minute drive back to my house. So we were just like, all right, let's just wait around. And if they're still being, like, creepy, because they were our age, they weren't, like, old creepy people, but, like, they were still, like, really creepy. Like, staring at us is crazy. and they never ended up driving off. So at this point, I was like, guys, like, let's just get out of the car. We'll walk you to your car to my friend, and then we'll just leave and, like, just stay on the phone with us if anything happens. And my friend honestly was fine. She was like, yeah, like, they're definitely trolling, like, it's whatever. So what we did is we were tracking her as we were driving home. Because, like I said, she's only a 15-minute drive from the movie theater. And also, we stopped at the light and the car wasn't behind us. So we were like, okay, like, we're fine. And we all ended up getting home safe. I just think that is so creepy. But yeah, sorry, that was kind of a quick story. Nothing crazy happened. I mean, I'm happy it didn't, but, like, for entertainment purposes, like, sorry the story wasn't more detailed. But yeah, like, I want to do a series because, like, I do have a lot of story times, but I'm kind of running out of, like, the really, like, funny ones, because I do have, like I said, I have a bunch, but, like, they're not as, like, entertaining as stories like these. So if you guys have any personal stories that you guys want me to tell, like, honestly, DM me, or I might create a Google form if, like, a bunch of people want to, like, share, like, funny stories that they have, and, like, I'll tell them from my point of view. Because let me word that better. Like, I'll say, like, not my story and, like, the little thing, but, like, the story time. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen those videos of, like, people, like, I see them all the time with, like, people doing, like, story times, but, like, it's not their real story times. It's, like, what people send them. So that's kind of what I want to do. Also, guys, I got the red cup from Starbucks, even though I got, like, my regular drink. Okay, guys, let's speed run my makeup. We are done. Okay, guys, this is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more story times. Love you. Bye.
Okay, hey guys, story time about me and my boyfriend, because I just caught him. And this is like my diary at this point, this account is. So I'm gonna tell you guys what happened. So pretty much, he was talking to this girl prior to me, whatever. I don't really freaking care, because it was prior to me. Who cares? And they were like talking. He said they talked for 2 weeks. That was a lie. Because I found something, he said they were only talking up September, and I found a picture on his mom's Facebook of her, and he said they never dated, they were only talking, and I found a picture of her November 17th, so I was like, okay, so that's a lie, so you're a liar. Anyways, then my mom was like, just go look up and see if she like liked the mom's picture to find out who she is. So I was like, that's what I did. I found out her name, then I stalked her on Instagram. Sounds crazy, but I'm not. Anyways, then, I don't know if I already said this, but I found out they were also taking pictures, because she posted it on her story November 23rd of them together. It was like a collage of pictures, but he was in it with her. And I was like, cute. But he still follows her. Why do you still follow her? Like, we're dating. The guy I was talking to, I unfollowed him when we started talking. And then he didn't do the same. Like, don't act like you don't know you don't follow her still. Like, you know you follow her.
Here are some of the crazy unhinged things that I used to do in high school because of my very strict Latino parents. I saw somebody on here do this trend, and a lot of the things she was saying were so relatable, so I just have to do my own. My parents, mostly my dad, was so strict when I was in high school. They wouldn't let me go anywhere. I didn't really hang out with friends. A lot of these things have to do with my current fiance, who was my very first boyfriend when I was in high school. We dated from the time I was 14 to 15, so basically freshman to sophomore year. I was obviously not allowed to have a boyfriend. The way that we would see each other was I would tell my parents that I was volunteering at the church, because he lives like right up the street from the church. And since we had Life 360, they could see my location and I could see their location. And the only reason I had to lie, you guys, is because my parents were so strict. Like, they were scary. Like, me pegaban. They were abusive. He played soccer, so anytime that I would go to any of his soccer games, I would say that, like, my school was playing and that it would be extra credit, basically, if I went, and I needed the extra credit. Eventually, my parents found out, and yes, they beat my ass. Like, they beat me bad. Real bad. After they found out, my dad wouldn't allow me to do anything school related. I was on the wrestling team. He made me quit the wrestling team. He took away my phone for
months, like 6 months, he didn't talk to me, but he would pick me up from school every single day. And of course, I couldn't just quit the wrestling team. Like, I actually really, really loved wrestling. So I remember I made up, and my mom knew about this, basically drafted some permission slips for SAT prep, and I made it so it would be like 4 days out of the week after school, and then sometimes on the weekends because we would have tournaments. And I literally put dates, the dates that this LSAT prep was going on for, on the permission slip. And so my dad could see it, and I would put it on the fridge after he signed it. So he would know exactly the dates that I would be staying after school, and exactly every single Saturday when I would be at a tournament. I don't know if this is relatable to anybody, but my parents literally used to sit down randomly and check my phone. This was even before they found out about my boyfriend. It was never my mom, it was always my dad. So he would sit down and he would check my phone. And so every guy that I had on my phone was named like a girl's name, just in case they would text me while he was checking my phone. Yeah. My parents would take away my phone for anything. Like, if I talked back to them, if I was rude, if I looked at them funny, if, like, for anything, they would take away my phone. They stood on business. They would take my phone away for like a week at a time, days at a time. And me, I'm like, I have a boyfriend. Like, I can't just ghost on him for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Since I had a job at the time, I got myself an iPod. So anytime I got my phone taken away, I would just pull out my iPod, connect to the Wi-Fi, and I was still able to text my boyfriend, my friends, whatever, whoever I was trying to text, I would still be able to text them. Oh, and you guys know those days at school where like the teachers have to go in, but the kids don't have to go in? Well, I wouldn't tell my parents about those days. And since me and my siblings are all 6 years apart, and one of them was in middle school, I think, and the other one was in elementary school, they would all have different like teacher development days. So mom nor my dad would know that like I actually didn't have school that day. And I don't know if my mom knows this or not, so if you're watching, I'm sorry. But I grew up to be a pretty good kid, you know, successful and all. Besides the point. I wouldn't tell them, and I would go to the city because I lived in Staten Island. I would go to New York City for the entire day and just go shopping, walk around, thrift, eat, like explore New York City, okay? Because my parents would not let me out. And I understand how dangerous this is now. But at the time, I was just a 15, 16, 17-year-old girl. And if you're watching this as a parent, please understand that being strict does not make your kids better kids. It just makes them better liars. Like, I just learned how to lie out of all of that. I just got better and better at literally lying.